In the AFC East. Let's go to Chris Berman in the studio for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. As we detailed at halftime, the Giants thrashed the Redskins 36-0 in honor of Wellington Mara, and they are moving to first in the NFC East. Meanwhile, bad gets to worse. A bad loss for Minnesota and Carolina. Possible suspected torn ACL and perhaps other damage to Dante Culpepper, Vikings quarterback. MRI tomorrow. More on SportsCenter after the game, guys.
Well, I tell you, Boomer, if it's going to go one way or the other from Minnesota, it goes the other. It's been a disaster for them with all the bad breaks they've got and the self-inflicted wounds on top of it.
You know, it just, the National Football League, and I've been around this whole thing for 40-some years, and I tell you what, it's the healthy teams that end up in the Super Bowl that win.
Yeah.
And you just can't overcome injuries.
New England being the exception to the rule last year, I think, with the defensive problems they had. And they're again this year a problem. Charlie Weiss has moved on to the University of Notre Dame. By the way, I spoke to him last night. He, sends his best to his football team.
He was sort of happy last night after that contract.
Yeah, he got
extension.
a new contract extension, and it's great that he's going to be there at the university for a long time. But Josh McDaniel has taken over for him on the sidelines. Now, he's the quarterback coach. I believe that Bill Belichick is still calling the plays, is a part of calling the plays. Tom Brady has a bigger role calling the plays. So this has now become play calling by committee more than one individual like it was with Charlie.
Brady bounced that one pretty much into the ground as he was trying to hit David Givens.
And it's different. It's different for Tom Brady because when he talked about working under Charlie Weiss, he said the buck stopped with Charlie. If you wanted to know something about the offense, you asked Charlie. When a play was called by Charlie, that's the way it went. So now you have a little bit more input from a lot of different people. And I think Tom Brady has had to take on more responsibility. He's had 8 months to adjust to it, but I still think it's going to take the full year till he gets really comfortable.
King 29 and Baker 26 check in as extra defensive backs for the Bills on 3rd and long. Brady, pressure from behind. Lucky he didn't fumble that football, and it's Schobel again, who went well past him, circled around, and came back and got him from behind.
You remember in the first quarter when Brady standing in the end zone, had all that time to throw the football? Well, you don't have this much time. And you talk about the clock in somebody's head, but look at how long he holds his ball. Schobel goes all the way around and then comes back in and gets the sack.
And what a terrific job the secondary did. No one was open for him to get rid of the football. That's a heck of a good secondary, too.
Aaron Schobel has now sacked Tom Brady more than any other player in the National Football League. Jason Taylor had 5. Schobel has 5.5. He just loves playing against New England. We've got a timeout. It's 10-7. Buffalo over the Patriots.
ESPN Sport Legends presents Rocky Graziano. On September 27, 1946, in New York's Yankee Stadium, 27-year-old challenger Rocky Graziano went after Johnny Zale's middleweight crown with both hands.
In the 6th round, Rocky got hit with a left hook to the body that in the solar plexus, and it paralyzed him, and he went down, and he started to crawl up the ropes.
Ruby Goldstein put his arms around Rocky and stopped the fight. Rocky was very upset. He said he was okay. He wanted to continue.
A rematch was held 9.5 months later in Chicago.
In the 6th round, he came out with murder in his one good eye and slugged and climbed all over Zale on the ropes, pounding him. And finally, the referee stepped in, and Rocky Graziano was the new middleweight champion of the world.
We hope you can join us for a full night of football next Sunday on ESPN, starting at 7:30 Eastern with NFL Primetime. Then on Sunday Night Football, Donovan McNabb and the Eagles go to Washington to take on Clinton Portis and the Redskins at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN in the surprisingly strong NFC East, but both of those teams got whacked today. The Buffalo Bills needed big performances from all 3 of these guys to have a chance to knock off New England, and they are getting it. Holcomb approaching the 200-yard mark, which they haven't been able to crack. McGahee approaching the 100-yard mark. Moulds already has 145 yards on 7 catches. McGahee trying to get outside and cut down at the corner by Asante Samuel.
And those are the kind of plays that the secondary is going to have to make. But if you take a look at our playbook, you see that Eugene Wilson, the free safety, is talking to Arturo Furrow. Now, this was on the last series. They're communicating right up until the ball is snapped. Wilson runs one way, Freeman runs the other, and Eric Moulds runs down the middle of the football field all by himself. The problem they're having is communication, and you can see that this is what has to be worked out. Now, Freeman's only been on the roster for 2 weeks, so there is a communication problem.
They've just been devastated by those injuries. Williams out in the flat. He will have enough for a first down across the 40 to about the 42-yard line.
You know what just happened on the last play? We have Eric Moulds comes out. They triple covered him. They even brought Willie McGinnis from a linebacker position out to him to cover him, and they left Williams alone. He comes out of the backfield. He's wide open, and they get the first down.
It's something we were talking about this morning, Paul. When you think of the Buffalo Bills, with Moulds coming in with 28 catches and Lee Evans with 17, you don't think anybody's going to double cover these wide receivers. But what they're doing is forcing New England to do it now.
McGahee, who has been a workhorse, fumble, pushed back.
Eric Moulds, you know, we talked about you're not, because he's been around for a long time, you're going to try to cover him man-to-man. I don't think so. Eric Moulds, not only is he fast, he's got great hands, but his instincts. He's got so much knowledge. Watch this guy. He gets himself in open field. Now he's going to show you what speed he has after he catches the football. Don't think you're going to cover Eric Moulds man-to-man. You're not.
2nd and 10 for the Bills. And that one's picked off. Asante Samuel stepped in front of Moulds.
We almost saw Asante Samuel pick one off in the first half down around the goal line, but Kelly Holcomb threw it into the ground. This one he throws up. He's looking into the backfield all the way. What a great piece of hands right there. Terrific hands.
This is Kelly Holcomb's fault. This ball should have never been thrown out there.
And that is only the 2nd interception for New England all year. This is game 7.
I say that it's a great defensive play more so than anything, Paul. Not that it was, you know, would take it away from the quarterback, but he was looking in the backfield all the way. Not that I don't agree with you.
He's been very gentle tonight.
Oh, I tell you, he's losing it.
Dillon spins. Vincent comes up to make the tackle along with Lavale Sape, who was hanging on to him, and there's a flag down.
Look, Dillon, you talk about in the first half, it just looked like he was going about half speed. Not anymore, and he is hurt.
Well, and there's a face mask also. They're going to tack on top of this a 15-yard penalty for face mask. Corey Dillon with that extra effort.
And this, the old 5-yard face mask.
And this is what Mike Mularkey doesn't want to see. He's seen this too often with his football team in the second halves of ball games.
Dillon lowers his shoulder and moves the pile to the 31.
Corey Dillon in the first half carried the ball 3 times for 10 yards. This quarter alone, 6 times for 38 yards.
He's the last man standing back there.
He is. He's in there because Patrick Pass, who had a career game last week against Denver and had played so well and came out starting this game so well, was hurt. Zeraway had been signed in place of Kevin Falk, who was hurt. Zeraway has a bad thigh. It's Dillon, period. They stretch him out and take him down around the 27, 28-yard line, says Kelsey.
Now, that doesn't seem like a lot of yards, and it's not. But they've had 2 successive runs now to get them into a 3rd down and 4 situation. And I have to believe that they're close to 4-down territory because you're looking at a 48, 49 yarder, and you wonder what the Pats want to do, but they have a nice manageable 3rd down distance right now.
Now you got Zaraway in the game. Corey Dillon, he leaves the game. He's hurt. Amos Zaraway comes in. He's still hurt.
Buffalo made personnel changes at the very end, barely got him on the field. He got the other guys off, and now Brady in trouble, and down he goes. Pressure by Kelsey and Justin Bannon, number 97, a 2nd-round draft choice 4 years ago out of Colorado.
I was talking about it in the first half about where you're going to put pressure on Brady, and it's up the middle. Look at up the middle. This is where these guys come, and they're letting him know they're coming up the middle. And it distracts a quarterback.
It's coming from the defensive right side and the left side of that offensive line, where you've got Nick Kazura and Logan Mankins, the 2 rookies, the left guard and left tackle.
They're going to pass on a 52-yard field goal try and instead try to punt the ball and pin them back. Nobody is deep to return it. And taken by New England at the 7, Ellis Hobbs downfield to make the catch and down the ball at the 7-yard line.
One of the things that was lacking for the New England Patriots on the defensive side of the ball was the ability to communicate, and I believe leadership was also a problem. And Teddy Bruschi has been able to supply a lot of that. The energy and the excitement with him back. Talking to the coach, I'm sure telling him how good it is to be back, and then communicating to his players, both on the field as well as on the sidelines with that fiery nature. And he's even played on special teams, on kick returns, on field goal units. He's done everything that's been asked of him. I still wonder, of the 39 plays that he's participated, is he going to run out of a little bit of gas as this game moves on into the 4th quarter? From the looks of it, no, but you have to wonder.
Well, if the Buffalo Bills start and take another 10 or 15 play drive, it's going to wear him out. Wearing that whole defense out.
Absolutely. He's going to have a lot of company. A penalty has moved Buffalo back inside the 5, and now they're on their feet in Foxborough. These people came to see their beloved Patriots play tonight, to see the return of Teddy Bruschi. They've gotten all that. Now they want to win. McGahee, nice cut, and that looked like a hole on the corner, and there comes the flag.
Lee Evans, number 83, the wide receiver, just grabbed Asante Samuel and spun him around. The referee is the guy that throws the flag.
He had a perfect angle.
Holding. Offense number 83. Penalized half the distance to the goal.
Right on the left-hand side of your screen. Now watch this. They're going to spin him. Here comes Asante Samuels. There's Lee Evans. He just grabs him and spins him around. That's wide open. You got to see that.
That's just a case of a corner moving faster than a wide receiver.
Yeah, give Asante Samuel some credit on that.
Oh, yeah.
And he's really the only guy that's been in that secondary. He's the only consistent one.
The good news is they can only penalize them 1.5 yards. The bad news is it moves them back inside the 2. McGahee's going to try the same thing. Asante Samuel was right there again to turn him back inside, and Arturo Freeman comes up from the secondary.
Willis McGahee, if you notice, he starts towards the line of scrimmage, and then he likes to bounce it, either outside left or outside right. The problem you have when you're backed up like this is the corners and the safeties are a lot closer to that bounce area that you want to get to. When you're out in the field, they can run them off a little more. I think you have to take a shot. Be a good place to take one.
Holcomb instead goes out in the flat. And it's his big fullback, Damon Shelton, and Shelton gets him out of a huge hole with a 21-yard gain.
He does. He gets him out of a hole, but Eric Moulds throws a block downfield that actually springs this thing. Eric Moulds, not only does he catch the ball, but he also is an excellent blocker downfield. On the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see Eric Moulds comes in. He's right there. There's the block that he made Here's Eric Moles. Look at this. Asante Samuels. He pushes him out of the way right into Rabel, the linebacker, number 50.
He got a twofer.
He did get a twofer.
I get the feeling that Willis McGahee is one of those backs, and he'll get stronger and stronger because he's only a year and a half back from that injury.
Right.
And I think it takes 2. But he looks like he can pound it for you and continue to pound it. They said he came in a little bit bigger, almost 230 pounds. And I think he'll get faster as he gets more and more of his legs underneath him.
Well, it's got to be 230 of all muscle, too. He only looks like he's about 205. McGahee. Have to give credit to that Bills offensive line, that much maligned group, because they have blocked for the run very, very well tonight, and they have blocked much better than they have all year for Kelly Holcomb, giving him time to throw the ball.
Well, Kelly Holcomb gets the ball out of his hands so quickly. That's the big thing. You know, he gets the ball out so quickly and gives the runners a chance. And of course, Willis McGahee last week sort of proclaimed himself as being one of the best backs, if not the best back in football. Well, the Raiders didn't give him a chance to prove it, but tonight he sure looks like it against the Pats.
Well, he's gone over 100 yards on 22 carries, and now Shawn Williams is in there to give him a breather. Williams will pick up a couple, and once again, Buffalo with another good drive. There is a flag down at the end of the play.
Here's Willis McGahee's rush chart. He just continues to run the ball and pound the ball at the middle of that defense. Trey Teague, Benny Anderson, Chris Valerial, center and 2 guards.
Personal foul, leg whip, offense number 83. 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's the second big penalty called on Lee Evans, the second-year wide receiver out of Wisconsin.
Josh Reed had the holding penalty when they were backed up. Now Lee Evans. The wide receivers are killing the running game when they're trying to block. You can't leg whip. He's on Asante Samuels. Now he goes down and then throws his leg out. Stand up in the guy's face. I mean, to me, that doesn't show me anything as a blocking wide receiver.
I'll tell you another thing. If I'm a wide receiver, I'm not whipping someone with my legs. Those are the valuable things I have besides my hands. I'm not whipping you.
Pressure coming, screen to Shawn Williams. Got by Vrabel. Shawn Williams will have a first down out to the 47-yard line.
Man.
That's a great call and beautifully executed.
Well, Shawn Williams is the kind of guy, when he gets his hands on the football, he's not a big guy, but watch how quick he uses his blockers. He's already turning and he's upfield. That's Benny Anderson, number 66, that's in front of him. This offensive line, you're right, Joe, and especially the middle of the offensive line of the Buffalo Bills, they have really held up their end.
And I really like the play calling of Tom Clements. Play action coming out of your own end. You throw a screen on a first down in a mile.
McGahee back in there. Bounces it out, cuts it back. McGahee taken down by Willie McGinnis, but he picks up another dozen. The Buffalo Bills dominating now in the second half the way they did in the first. The Bills on top of Teddy Bruschi and the Patriots. 10-7, end of 3.
Is the lead back for Parker. Great block by Hines Ward, and there goes fast Willie Parker. Going to the end zone for a touchdown. A 37-yard gallop.
Studied film of the Iverson-Weber combination, trying to figure out why the problems. Oh, Carter! From Jefferson.
Manning looking. Here comes the pressure. Pass away. Catch is made. It's Turner again against the Broncos like he did back in '98.
Doing too much today. A couple of bogeys at 7 and 8 hurt him.
Oh, look at this for Steve Lowry.
That helps the batting average.
You bet it does. That gets him to...
Ferocious linebacker Ray Lewis leads the great defense of the Baltimore Ravens into Pittsburgh to battle the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a key game between AFC North rivals who both need a win to move up in the division. Let's play some football. Ravens, Steelers. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown. Live tonight, the NFL on ESPN, home of Super Bowl 40.
Or a week from Monday.
Bills on top of the Patriots, 10-7 as we start the fourth quarter.
Remember I said at the beginning that Willis McGahee was talking about, you know, he's the best back in football. Hey, Malarkey said if he says that, we got to make him the best back.
That's right. The Bills have certainly struggled the last 7 years. Only 2 playoff appearances after being a team that was always in the playoffs. They harbored dreams of going back to the playoffs this year, Joe, and this win would put them back in first place in the AFC East.
Well, this is part of the reason why they put Kelly Holcomb in as their quarterback. They replaced J.P. Losman because they were 1-3, really struggling, and they felt like he would give them some veteran leadership. Went out and won his first 2 games, lost last week, and now he's got the Bills in front here.
And if they didn't feel they were a playoff team, they wouldn't have done it. They'd have stuck with their young quarterback and had him taking his lumps and learn something. McGahee for a couple, gang tackled, and there is a flag at the end of the play. And what happened there is Tim Ewis, the tight end, was blocking, and he was grabbed and thrown down, I believe, by Roosevelt Colvin after the whistle, and that's going to be a penalty on Colvin.
I mean, this is, you know, this is a dumb penalty. Number 59 is Colvin.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 59 defense. A 15-yard penalty.
Here it is. This play is over with. Look at Roosevelt Colvin right in the middle of the field.
To me, what I've seen out of the New England Patriots tonight are uncharacteristic mistakes that we haven't seen over the last 3 or 4 years. They just don't take delay-of-game penalties when they're lining up to kick a field goal. They don't take stupid penalties and get yourself 15 yards to help an offense out.
Right.
I mean, I guarantee you, Coach Belichick is not going to be very pleased.
Shawn Williams is dragged down by Colvin.
Well, he got 5 of it back.
That's not enough.
Roosevelt Colvin has to make 2 more plays now.
But one of the things is you got a team like Buffalo coming in here, and they really felt when talking to the New England Patriots, you know, Buffalo Bills are struggling, especially in the second half. We got a really good chance of winning this football game. Well, since the beginning of this football game, right at the outset of this game, when the Bills took the opening kickoff, they've been sticking it to the Patriots the entire time, and they haven't stopped.
McGahee is back in there. Holcomb play action. Steps up. Very calm. Makes the throw to Molds. Starks gets in on the hit, but Molds is down to the 17-yard line. Boy, nice move by Holcomb.
And it's good play action. There you go again. Get the linebackers up. Now slide a little bit away. Willie McGinnis, he's got that bad right hand. He's got a bad pinky on his right hand. It's on a cast, and so he can't make the grasp. Holcomb keeps the play alive, and Eric Molds makes the play for him.
Big play here. 3rd and a short 3. Can Brewski and company rise up again? Holcomb in the shotgun. Pressure. Throws and batted down by Asante Samuel, who's had a heck of a night on defense.
Asante Samuel, that's outstanding defense, and he's the one guy in the secondary that's really doing what he's supposed to do.
Paul, he just keeps jumping up to make plays. Watch how he goes around Josh Reed, number 82. He doesn't even put a hand on him, and I don't think he actually hits the ball. I just think he distracts him enough so that when it does hit his chest, he can't hang on to it. But you're right, he's the one guy that's jumped out for this Pats defense.
Ryan Lindell is 1 out of 2. This will be from 35 yards. And the lead goes to 6. Buffalo on top 13-7 with 13:02 to go in this game from New England.
In the next 20 years, the world will grow by 1.5 billion people. Feeding this appetite for energy will take innovation, collaboration, and conservation. We've begun creating this new era of energy. Will you join us?
The road to the ultimate prize of European football continues with match day 4 of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN. Live Tuesday, Real Betis is home to take on Group G leaders Chelsea. Then it's off to Norway, where Rosenborg plays host to Real Madrid. Then PSV is home in Eindhoven to take on Serie A elite club AC Milan. Then on Wednesday, Spanish holders mighty Barcelona takes on the pride of Greece, Panathinaikos. And on Friday, French club Lille plays Big Red Manchester United. Inter Milan of the Serie A takes on Porto. Portugal's other club in the Champions League, Benfica, faces Spanish club Villarreal. And in a huge game, Juventus of the Serie A is home to play Germany's Bayern Munich. It's match day 4 of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Refreshing Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 40. T. Rowe Price, mutual funds, IRAs, college savings from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. PlayStation 2, live in your world, play in ours. And Wheaties, the breakfast of champions.
4 drives for the Buffalo Bills tonight of more than 11 plays. That was a 12-play drive that went 80 yards, got him a field goal. Yikes.
You know what's really amazing? Is it all the mistakes and all the bad plays of the New England Patriots, and the same with the Buffalo Bills, good and bad. They're within a touchdown, New England, of taking the lead. It's frightening.
And look at Bruschi. Not only has he come back and played most of the snaps on defense, he's on special teams. I don't think he's running out of gas. Ellis Hobbs on the return for New England, running hard, takes it up to the 33. Let's check in with Susie.
Mike, we know a lot of people are wondering about the risk. Teddy Bruschi back here playing football tonight 8 months after suffering from a mild stroke and then having surgery on his heart to insert a small plug. Well, he told us that he and his wife Heidi sought out doctor after doctor, opinion after opinion, 10 doctors, maybe more. Dr. David Greer, Bruschi's lead doctor, a specialist in stroke neurology at Massachusetts General Hospital, issued this statement through the team. Bruschi is completely back to normal. There are no medical reasons for him to delay his return, end quote. And yesterday we spoke to a cardiologist who has inserted one of those small heart plugs, who said the chances of the device being loosened is extremely remote, even if Bruschi is hit in the chest. But another expert, a neurologist involved in ongoing studies, points out no one has played pro football with this device. So is there the potential for risk? Definitely. You can never say zero.
And Susie, there is his wife Heidi, and certainly they went out looking for different opinions. All they found was positive, and we've got a turnover.
Aaron Schobel again comes around the back, knocks the ball out of Brady's hand, and the Bills get it. What a game Schobel's had.
He certainly has, Paul. He's been tremendous off that defensive end. Now Holcomb on the run and just throws it away. There's a late hit by McGinnis, and McGinnis looked around like he was waiting for a flag, doesn't get one.
Look at Aaron Schobel coming around the outside. You talk about a guy with a motor that won't quit.
Again, your rookie left tackle, Nick Kazur. The Denver Broncos talked about this 2 weeks ago, and they said, we know that they've got 2 rookies, and we were going to put pressure in that area. And I talked to Jerry Gray, the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. Hey, Denver went after the young guys. What do you think? He said, yeah, we'd be foolish not to try and put pressure and make those young guys defend them.
Well, the significance of this, even with just another field goal, they would be up by 2 possessions. And another good defensive play, reaching in Ellis Hobbs, the rookie, to knock it away, intended for Molds. And the Patriots have hurt themselves tonight. The penalties for 42 yards, the 2 turnovers, and the rare missed field goal from Vinatieri.
Well, the one fumble Patrick pass just grabbed his leg and dropped the ball. This one here gets knocked out of Tom Brady's hand. And, of course, one of those penalties was on a made field goal where they took a delay of game penalty and it was nullified.
3rd and 10. Draw play, Williams. Shawn Williams inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. This free agent from Alabama.
You know what happened? Remember we talked about the Buffalo Bills when they weren't ready and Brady went on a quick count?
Right.
Here's another situation where the New England Patriots weren't ready. Bruschi gets knocked off by his own guy because he wasn't lined up in the right spot. Here comes, look at Bruschi walking around. Now watch what happens here. Here gets Bruschi. He gets taken out by his own guy, and he doesn't get into play. That's a great job by the Buffalo Bills getting up to the ball, doing the same thing to New England that they did to them.
McGahee back in the ball game. Well, they have to be happy with the way McGahee has run tonight, because he was criticized for dancing into holes rather than slamming in there. He has just lowered a shoulder tonight, giving it everything he's got.
Between McGahee and Kelly Holcomb and Eric Molds, they're 3 stars. They've all appeared.
And Shawn Williams has done a nice job filling in.
Yes, he has.
Time of possession is just tells the whole story. The Bills have had 33 minutes of this game, twice as much as the Patriots.
Out of the eye this time. Shelton goes in motion. McGahee nowhere to go. Gang tackled. Bruschi, one of the guys that's in there. Vince Wilfork, the big nose man, led the charge.
I don't care how many guys are hurt on either team. Here's Teddy Bruschi now. Just take a look at him coming up and making the play on McGahee. He's helping out. But I don't care how many guys are hurt. To come in to the champion's home, and
you're supposed to win at home.
Yeah, but absolutely dominate a football game like the Buffalo Bills they have done. You talk about what this is going to do for the Buffalo Bills the rest of this year.
And this is a team that hasn't won on the road, Paul. They haven't been able to win on the road.
So far, it's been a statement game for them. 3rd and 8. Pressure on Holcomb. They take him down at the 23. Mike Vrabel will get the sack. That was a huge play for New England defensively. Now at least it's going to make it a relatively long field goal try for Lindell.
You know, Kelly Holcomb does the right thing. Take a look at what happens on the inside. That's Roosevelt Colvin coming in. Vrabel's the guy that makes the play. But Kelly Holcomb, instead of throwing the ball, getting it intercepted, causing a fumble, just takes a sack because he knew that they were still in field goal range.
Lindell will try from 41. He's made from 23 and 35. Missed from 46. This makes it a 2-possession game if he hits it. Hooking and just inside the right upright. Ryan Lindell comes through. He has now hit 17 out of 19 field goals this year. And Buffalo, off the turnover, is up 16-7.
The NFL is the world's top league of American football. Here's the breakdown. There are 32 teams divided into 2 conferences, the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference. Within each conference lies 4 divisions. Each team plays 16 regular season games. Let's use the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots from the AFC East as an example. They play each team in their division twice. That's 6 games. 4 games are against a pre-selected division of their conference. 4 against a pre-selected division of the opposing conference. And the remainder against teams in their conference in other divisions that came in the same place as them. For example, since the Patriots came in first in the AFC East division, they'll play the first place teams from the other AFC divisions. In each conference, the 4 division winners advance to the playoffs. In addition, the 2 teams with the next best records from each conference advance to the postseason as wildcards. The champions of each conference meet in the Super Bowl.
A week from Monday will be against the Indianapolis Colts.
That's not a good prospect for them right now. Even as much as they have dominated Indianapolis, they are not dominating anybody right now. And they trail in this one 16-7. Back to Foxborough in a moment.
Ferocious linebacker Ray Lewis leads the great defense of the Baltimore Ravens into Pittsburgh to battle the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a key game between AFC North rivals who both need a win to move up in the division. Let's play some football. Ravens, Steelers. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown.